Elon Musk just said Tesla shares are too high. Is it time to sell? So I'm scrolling through Twitter today and I come across a tweet by the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk, saying that the share price is too high. Certainly not something I've seen every day. What's interesting is actually Elon Musk has said something like this before. Back in 2014, he was quoted as saying, "I think our stock price is kind of high right now, to be totally honest. If you care about the long term, Tesla, I think the stock is a good price. If you look at the short term, it is less clear." So while it is fairly odd and unique for a CEO to talk about how the share price of the company is too high, it's actually not unique for Elon Musk to do this. However, it does have its consequences. The stock trimmed $15 billion off its valuation shortly after the tweet was sent out. So I think the logical thing to do now is to think about is he right? And from a valuation perspective, he certainly is. If you look at Ford, GM, and Toyota, some of the other largest car brands in the world, from a price to sales perspective, price to earnings, price to cash flow, price to book, price to forward earnings, Tesla is extraordinarily overvalued in comparison to other car companies that are out there. So I think the question you ask yourself now is, should you sell your Tesla shares because Elon Musk says they're too expensive? Well, I think it's a really good question, and you probably should take in mind what he said several years ago about the company. Are you holding on to those shares for the long term, for 10, 15, maybe even 20 years or more? Or are you just holding on to those shares for the short term and just, hoping to make a little bit of profit here and there? I think depending on where you're at with your shares, it certainly would guide your decision making. Someone like me, who used to have some shares, have sold them, have bought some more, have sold them again. Any kind of drop in the share price might actually be a good opportunity to buy. Certainly, if you look at the chart history of the company, it has gone up, at a regular pace. But there are several times when the company has sold off and it has created a buying opportunity. Is this a buying opportunity for Tesla shares? I'll let you decide that. It all depends on your risk tolerance, how much money you have to invest. What's your time frame? Are you trying to trade the stock, or are you trying to hold it in your 401k for the next 25 years? Those are all the questions you need to ask yourself before you invest in a company like Tesla. So finally taking a look here at the Tesla chart, as you can see, the tweet went off around this time during the day and the stock sold off very sharply after that, a good 10%. After having a nice move the last couple days, it's kind of popped up with earnings. I just did a video. I'll post a link to that in the description below. I went over their financials and stuff like that for the first quarter. Now, where would I love to buy Tesla shares? Look at this long-term chart. You had this huge consolidation around this $300, call it, mid to $300 price range. Certainly, we just saw a low here just a couple months ago, call it the coronavirus low, in that $420 range. Ironically enough, that's when Elon Musk said he was going to take the company private several years ago. So, I would love to come in here at this price range. If the shares were to somehow pull back to this range, I think this would be an awesome place to get in, because you have this huge, just a massive amount of investor base that it kind of bought in around this price. Now, again, if we retest these lows here in the $400-$500 range, I think that would be an interesting level to jump back in. I've been in and out of this stock for a while, and I was out of it this year when it kind of hit this big peak here, $900. Which way it's going to go is anybody's guess. Kind of depends on the situation we have going on with the virus and things like that. It's probably a little too early to tell. Certainly a speculative investment in my eyes, so I certainly would be cautious with the amount of money you throw at a stock like this. But if you have a long-term perspective, it certainly has been a stock that has rewarded shareholders over the history of the company. So there we go. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Subscribe. Thanks again.